Good morning, guys. It's like 7:30 a.m. on Saturday morning, and I see quite a few people already watched and commented on the video that I posted last night. Um, and It's Saturday. I'm doing this video earlier. I just got out of bed, um, but I wanted to make another video before it gets really loud around here. It gets pretty live at this marina on the weekends. I usually go home on the weekends, you know, and I actually will be going today because tomorrow's Father's Day, and my dad's he's not real healthy anymore, so I try to take advantage of all the time that I can spend with him. Like we weren't always that cool, and but in the last few years we've been super tight. But so I guess this video I'm going to talk about some supernatural stuff again. Joe, he thought that I should wait to do this, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell it now, because this is gonna probably explain one of the reasons why I'm so into spirituality. Trying to decide where I should start. This might be a long video. I'm gonna start way back, I guess. So I'll start here. Well, when September 11th happened, I was 21 years old. I didn't really get into politics. I still don't, because it's fake as hell. Or the news, still don't, because it's fake as hell. But I didn't really know that back then. I was just a young guy, but when the September 11th thing happened, I saw people holding hands and jumping out of that building, and that kind of affected me. I could just imagine being there and choking on smoke and flames and melting, burning alive, and what those people had to have felt, dying like that. And that changed me somehow. That put in me the need to know what happened, why, what caused that, what made that happen. So I started to seek out the answers to what was going on in the world. Who controlled it? What was really going on? And in around 2007 is when the Zeitgeist came out. And I mentioned Jordan Maxwell before, but I saw this documentary called The Zeitgeist, and that was very eye-opening. And oh, it's one of my baby turtles. Check this out. I got pet turtles. They hear me open that door. Like when I come out in the morning, check this out, man. This is awesome. He's waiting for me to feed him. Can you see him? I think I can flip this camera around. Yeah, it's funny. They hear me come out. They hear me open that door. And yeah, I got one day there was 13 of them out here, and a little bitty baby one like this big. But so yeah, I was talking about the Zeitgeist documentary. And if you guys haven't seen that, there's like 5 of them now, I think. But if you guys haven't seen that, you should check it out. It's based on the work of Jordan Maxwell, and I just found this out like a couple years ago. But I came to Jordan Maxwell also, but I listened to him for years and didn't know that the Zeitgeist was because of him. So I'm gonna tell this real quick. When I was 26 years old, so this would have been in 2006, I had to do 90 days in the county jail, and that was like that was the only time I was ever locked up before I got locked up in New Jersey. And at that time in my life, when I was 26, like I was pretty bad off. I mean, I ain't scared. Like I was an IV drug user. I sold drugs. You know, that's one of the reasons why I want so badly to do positive things, because I feel like I have a karmic debt from that. At the time, I didn't understand, you know, like the evil that I was doing. To me, it was like, well, I'm helping these people out, and I would like justify it in my mind, like, well, the doctors get these people on OxyContin, and you know, they can sell us drugs. You know, what's any difference if I do it? And you know, there's no justifying what I did, and there's no excuse for it. But yeah, I I'm not proud of that, and I guess you could say I'm trying to make up for it, you know, because I realize how messed up it was, the things that I did. But you know, when you're addicted to drugs, you're not thinking right. But I ended up going to county jail in Michigan for 90 days, and while I was in there, I went to sleep one night, and I had this dream, and it was unlike any other dream that I've ever had. Like it wasn't about things that had never happened. It was like memories that came back to me. So I went back in time, and I was a little boy again, and I was in the 1st grade, and a girl that I grew up with, her mother was our substitute teacher one day, and this was back when you could pray at school. And we were about to go to lunch, and she said a prayer, like, led us all in a prayer. And the way she said it, she kind of like bobbed her head, and it was strange to me. And I remember as a little boy thinking, oh, this lady's weird. So we went to lunch, but I was back in that moment in my life, and I tried to tell her. I said, Miss Mary Jo, this isn't real. This is just a dream. I'm not really here. I'm not in the 1st grade. I'm not 6 years old. I'm actually 26 now, and it's only a dream. And when I would try to tell her this is just a dream, I would wake up. I woke up in my little jail bed, and that song by REM was playing in my head. That was just a dream. That was just a dream. That's me in the corner losing my religion. So I was just like, whoa, that was weird. So I ended up rolling back over and going back to sleep again. In the dream, oh, I got more turtles. But anyway, it picked up right where it left off. Now I'm walking through the elementary school where I went to school as a kid, and going through the lunch line, and the lunch lady was this lady. She was red haired. She had bright red hair, and her name was Virginia Harris, and she was a sweet lady. And she looked at me and said, "Hi, honey, how are you?" And I said, "Well, I'm okay, Miss Virginia, but I'm not here, and this isn't real. It's I'm not 6 years old anymore. I'm 26, and I'm not in Tennessee. I'm in Michigan, and I'm in jail. And you're not even alive anymore. You died. This is only a dream." Woke back up again. Was like tripping out. Finally, I fell back asleep, and it happened like 3 times. And I woke up. Every time I woke up, I was crying. Like I had been like sobbing in my sleep, and like my whole bed was wet from tears. And I woke up and probably wondering why I was crying. Well, I knew exactly. Like this was like I still to this day I consider this was some type of like vision from a higher power, and this dream changed my life. I had been like suicidal, at that point in my life. Like I really didn't want to live anymore, and kind of, I was real reckless, and everything that I saw around me just disgusted me because I was around drug addicts and greedy people and just negativity, and it really bothered me. And but as soon as I opened my eyes, I realized what it all meant, and it showed me how fast 20 years, because in that dream, it seemed like it was just, yeah, I can remember these things, and it was so real, and I understood how fast 20 years goes by. In the blink of an eye, 20 years will go by. And I thought to myself, like, life is so short. There's no sense in wishing it to be over, because it's going to be over soon enough anyway. So maybe that was just to prepare me for what was to come, because if I hadn't had that attitude, I may not have made it through that. I might have killed myself. But that gave me strength. So I guess moving on from that, in let's see, what month was it? Was it April? I think it was March or April. But in 2008, this is a long story too, but I'll kind of simplify it. Like I could like go into like why I did that, what I am about to tell you, and all that. But I'm afraid the video will get too long. I'm gonna try and move it along. But a long story short, I got caught with some marijuana in my trunk. I was on my way back from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I was in Michigan, and I got pulled over for no seatbelt. I know that's retarded. Like I had just stopped and to get gas, and something happened, and I just wasn't thinking, and I got back in I was driving a SUV and got going down the road, and as soon as I got down the on-ramp, there was a cop sitting there, and he pulled me over for no seatbelt. And when I went to give him my driver's license, like my hand was shaking, and I knew right then, it was over. And he knew, he could tell I was super nervous about something. So he put me in the back of his car. He went through my whole truck, and I saw him reach over and smell the speaker box. And it was all. I had a big speaker box in the back, and it was full of pot. And he turned around and went, pew. Like, I got you. So anyway, I ended up getting locked up. They impounded the Escalade I was driving, and I bonded out, and I was just so sick. I was nervous, and like I was so scared about what was going to happen to me, and it's all I could think about. And I was just sick to death over it. Well, my brother and I were traveling from Michigan back to Wisconsin. Like, I almost kind of wish I would have went into the whole story, and actually I got another story that sort of ties in with this one. Maybe if you guys want to hear that one, let me know after this. But I believed in psychics because of an experience that I had in Michigan back in like the year 2000. And that experience left no doubt in my mind that there are some people that know things and can tell things about you that there's no logical explanation for. But I walked in to this psychic, and it was in like Midtown Chicago. Like, there was like a Ferrari outside. You know, this wasn't the hood in Chicago. This was the nice part of Chicago. So I told myself, well, they must be good if they can afford to pay rent in this place. Somebody's paying them. So I went in there, and the lady said, "What's this?" As soon as I walked through the door, she said, "What's this terrible thing that's happened to you?" And I said, "Well, I had something I wasn't supposed to have, and the police took my truck." And she said, "They took everything from you." And I said, "Yeah, pretty much." And they did. You know, it was basically all my whole net worth. Like, I had spent everything that I had. I was trying to come up out of a bad situation that I was in, and that was like the only way that I saw to make some quick money. And so yeah, like, all I was, they hit me real hard for pretty much everything I had. And she said, "Here, shuffle these cards." So I said, "All right." I go shuffle the cards, and one card just flipped out and landed face down on the floor. And I didn't think anything of it. You know, I was 27 years old, and I didn't know anything about psychics or magic or any of that stuff. But I reached down to pick it up, and the lady like screamed at me. She was like, "No, don't touch it!" Like, she screamed loud enough that I kind of like jumped in my seat and was just like, "Man, my bad." And she got up from her seat, walked around the table, and squatted down on the floor and flipped that card over. And when she did, she was like, and I said, "Well, why are you looking at me like that?" She said, "I hate to be the one to have to tell you this, but this terrible thing that's happened to you, the reason why you came here." Oh yeah, that's my dad, by the way. And that's my mom. My grandparents. And an owl. I like owls, if you can't tell. Sorry to I'm crazy, I know. But she said, "I hate to be the one to have to tell you this, but this terrible thing that's happened to you, the reason why you came here, this thing that you're so worried about, you might as well forget about it. It's the least of your problems." She said, "In the middle of August, something's going to happen to you, and you cannot fathom the severity of this. Life as you know it is about to be over with. Your whole world's going to be ripped apart and turned upside down." She said, "It's going to look really bad at first, but and you're going to try and give up. Or you're not try and give up." She said, "It's going to look really bad at first, and you're going to think about giving up, but you're not going to give up. You're going to come back from it." She said, "It's not going to be overnight. It's going to take some time, but you will come back from it, and you're going to live a happy life and have 3 children." Well, as you guys know, so this was in late March or early April of 2008, and she told me in the middle of August my life was going to get ripped apart. Now, August has 31 days, so August the 16th is dead ass in the middle of August, and that's the night that I went out and all that stuff happened in New Jersey. And just like she said, it looked really bad at first. My whole world got ripped apart, and just like she said, I came back from it. But now what hasn't come true is I don't have 3 children. I'd kind of want to. I just, I shouldn't even be talking about that on this, I guess. But anyway, that happened, and that played a serious effect on me, as far as my journey in life. Like, and if you guys wonder, why I'm so into magic and spirituality and astrology and psychics and numerology, I'm just trying to. These turtles want some more food. I'm just trying to, I guess, help you guys to understand why I'm the way I am. Also, I guess I thought this was going to be longer than this, but I'm going to tell you about a dream that I had. So when I was locked up in Sussex County Jail, one night I went to sleep and I had another crazy dream. And the dream was that I was driving. It was a burgundy Dodge Ram pickup truck. That was the truck that I was driving, when they came and arrested me for all that. But I was back in my old work truck, and I was driving down the interstate, and it was raining, and I'm like trying to keep this truck in the road, but I'm sliding all over the place, and losing control of the vehicle, like I'm trying so hard to keep it in the road. And eventually the truck like spun out, and did like a 720. I spun around a whole bunch of times, and I finally came to rest in the middle, in the median. And I got out of the truck, and I jumped out, and there was like mud up to my shin bones, like up over my ankles. And I remember thinking, like, how am I gonna get out of here? Like, I'm stuck. What am I gonna do? And I looked down in the mud, and I saw something like shining, and I reached down and I picked it up, and I looked at it, and it was a gold coin. And I remember it was muddy, and it was raining, and there was rain raining on it. And I took it, and I bit it, and then I looked at it, and I could see my teeth marks in it. And I thought to myself, this is pure gold. And so I looked down, and I saw another one, and then another one. It was like Peter Griffin on Family Guy when he was like, "Ooh, piece of candy, ooh, piece of candy." Like, I was finding these gold coins in the mud. Then I remember thinking, I've got to call my grandfather somehow. I've got to get my grandpa here and bring his metal detector so that I can get all the coins, as I don't want to miss any. And right about that time, I woke up. And when I did wake up, I noticed that, well, it had been going off the whole time, but it didn't hit me until I woke up, because it was like still ringing in my head, but my ears were like ringing over and over and over, and I could hear, "The truth will set you free. The truth will set you free. The truth will set you free. The truth will set you free." And I woke up, was just like, whoa, like, that was nuts. And I knew immediately, like, that meant something. Like, there was a reason for that. That was to tell me something. And I thought to myself, what did that mean? And as soon as I asked myself what that meant, it just downloaded to my brain, and I knew what it meant. So the truck was like my life. It had like went out of my control, and the mud was that jail that situation, the legal trouble that I was stuck in. But I knew something good was going to come from it, and it was like I knew I was going to get paid. I didn't know if it was going to be like actual movable wealth, like money, or if I was going to get paid in like virtues, like I was going to learn, I was going to become wise, I was going to become patient, you know, just stronger. You know, I knew that good things were going to happen out of it. And they did, you know, like I got all those things actually. I'll never, I don't know if I'll ever say that I'm wise, because I feel like I'm a fool, you know, like I know that I'll never know all the things that I want to know. And, you know, but that's not going to stop me from trying to seek wisdom. But yeah, as you guys know, I ended up getting a settlement. I got paid from that. I settled out of court for $225,000, but after they paid the lawyer, see, they actually paid my trial attorney too some money, and then the guy that got me the money, he got like a third of it. So I ended up with like $135,000. And you know, I bought a house, I bought that motorcycle, I bought this dog right here, and that was about it, you know. But I wanted to share some of my reasonings for the way that I am, I guess, because a lot of people would probably be like, oh, this guy's weird. But I guess I am weird. I take pride in being weird, because, you know, that's a compliment to me, because I don't want to be like everybody else. And actually the word weird comes from Weird's web. You know, in like the Norse sagas, Weird's web is your destiny, your fate, and your fate is woven by these three. They're called Norns or Nerns, and they weave the web of your life. And if you're weird, that means that you are unaffected by what other people say about you, and they don't control you. You control your own destiny. And a lion doesn't concern himself over the opinions of sheep. So I love you guys. I'm glad that I'm super happy that you're all, you know, listening and commenting, and I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And I'm gonna keep, as long as you guys keep listening, I'm gonna keep talking. So just hopefully you stick with me, and I'm not too weird for you. But yeah, happy Saturday. Have a good weekend, everybody, and I'll try to, you know, keep posting as much as I can. Love you guys.